Hello, welcome to Precontation Points Video Snark. I read bad books so that you don't have to. I'm continuing my review of Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi. At the first video, go check out the others, links are posted below. Chapter 29. Chapter 28 ended with Adam saying, "Let's go home." I question where that meant, and when I open up Chapter 29, I see that Juliet is wondering the exact same thing. Adam takes Juliet over to her shed, and she briefly wonders if he means for them to live in this overgrown wasteland. However, inside of the shed is a tank, a literal tank. Says that he told Warner that the radiation fried the thing, and Warner told him to just leave it out there, that Warner had sent soldiers out there against his father's orders, so he didn't exactly want to bring it back just to get yelled at by Daddy. But the entire situation goes a step further and feeds back into Warner's metaphorical inability to see the forest for the trees. He decided to trust Adam to the point where Warner was just blindsided by literally everything Adam did. There isn't any reason for it, and I would normally raise a complaint, but Warner's sole personality trait is having an ego bigger than Russia, so... Adam then looks at Juliet's legs, which are all kind of scratched up. I don't remember her being scratched, only just her remarking about rope burn as they escaped. But they did go through the ruined remains of the town as well as to hop the fence, so maybe her legs got scratched up there. But once we leave this place, won't the trackers start back up again? Won't they know you're not dead? Warner had to renew my tracker serum every time I got back. Once it's gone, it's gone. Once again, how convenient. The chapter ends on that note. Chapter 30. Adam says that they're going to his house, which surprises Juliet a lot. Adam goes on to say that his father died some time ago. And I wonder why he ever joined the army if he hates it so much. Did Juliet miss the entire conversation she had with Adam where he looked her in the eye and said he joined the army to get close to her, about how he heard about Warner wanting to get to Juliet and how Adam wanted to help Juliet? Am I literally the only one who remembers that? As they drive, Juliet uses a natural lull in the plot to think about the plot. She thinks about how Warner will do anything to ensure that Juliet is back with him and that Adam is dead. But she also thinks about how Warner touched her. But now that she has a moment to think, to process what happened, she begins to question the incident. She is no longer certain that he actually touched bare skin to her leg and thinks that maybe it was something else that touched her, a sleeve or something. This is more because it seems statistically improbable that there would be two people who are immune to her touch, and she's trying to justify what actually happened. Which is fair, but I think that we all know that Warner will end up being immune to her anyway, so this seems moot. Next, Juliet muses on her current situation. She likens herself to Cinderella, certain that there is an expiration date for what's happening. Adam asks her why she's crying, but she doesn't answer right away. Adam pulls into an underground garage, which distracts them for a moment. After he turns the tank off, Juliet tries to tell him about her feelings, emotions that she'd shoved aside during her term with Warner just so that she could survive. Adam being able to touch her, his own feelings for Juliet. Adam tells her that he's sorry for not having stood up to help her earlier. He goes on and says that despite the constant bullying that Juliet endured, she never once hurt anybody, that despite all that she saw, she didn't turn bitter and angry but chooses to be kind. And I don't hate the message that this book is giving. They make out for a moment before Adam suggests that they get out of the tank. However, before Juliet can get out, a young boy comes out, eager and happy to see Adam. Adam interrupts the boy and says that there's somebody for him to meet. He helps Juliet out and introduces the boy as James, his brother. Chapter 31. Juliet is kind of flabbergasted at the idea of Adam having a brother. Adam sends James away with some paper with an excuse of picking up his embarrassing things like underwear lying around. After James leaves, Adam asks if it's okay that he has a brother. And what is Juliet supposed to do? Say no? When James comes back with a report that there's no underwear lying around, Adam goes to get their bags. James makes awkward small talk with Juliet, and the narration establishes that he's 10 while Juliet is 17. Oh good, she's 17! As the three of them go inside, Juliet asks why it is that Adam thinks that they'll be safe here, because wouldn't Adam's home be the first place Warner looks? Adam says that the official records don't have a home for Adam, and although Warner knows about James, Adam is positive that keeping James close to him will keep James safe. The place where they are is an abandoned office building with the aforementioned underground parking lot, and I guess that the brothers made it into their home. But enough of that, time to end the chapter on a really dumb cliffhanger. Ugh. Chapter 32. The interior of the room is pretty much what you'd expect of an old office building converted into a home to look like. However, as Juliet is looking around, James presses on and explains to Juliet that there are other kids who live there, all of them orphans. It's okay, I always put this on the automat. Nothing happens. It takes the molecular composition of the food and manipulates it. Adam is standing beside me. It doesn't add any extra nutritional value, but it makes you feel fuller, longer. And it's cheap, James says, grinning as he sticks it back into the contraption. It astounds me how much has changed. People have become so desperate they're faking food. So they somehow came up with the technology to make it feel like you aren't hungry, but they can't come up with some solution to there being no food. I feel like they're turning all of their resources in the opposite direction that they should be, and then wondering why the world's problems aren't being solved. After that, some more world building is established, stuff like curfew and how there's soldiers out there with guns who will shoot you if they feel like it, but notably still absent is literally any actual motivation as to why the world is like this. We're now 32 chapters into this, and the only thing that I've gotten is apparently everybody just woke up and decided to turn the world into a dystopia hellscape. Sure, let's go with that. After James falls asleep, Adam tells Juliet that he hasn't seen his brother in 6 months, but he spoke with him on the phone a lot. Didn't Warner monitor your calls? Yeah, but Benny has an untraceable line, and I was always careful to keep it to official reporting only. This book is full of way too many convenient things for my liking. Adam talks about his feelings for Juliet, starting with the day the two of them first met when they were 8. He says a lot of stuff, but it's literally nothing that the readers either weren't directly given or that was implied through Adam's subtext of, I love you, Juliet. We get it. He loves Juliet. You don't have to spend 3 paragraphs reminding the reader of this. Ugh. As Juliet watches Adam carry James to bed, she randomly thinks that she knows why Adam joined the army. He's fighting for so much more than himself. Which, yeah, he told you this already. Juliet is 99 cents short of $1, isn't she? Thanks for listening to my book Snark on YouTube. New videos are up every Monday, but stick around because sometimes I drop random videos on other days too. Just as a reminder, even if you can't financially support me, there are other ways to support me. The first is watching this video as well as all of my other videos. It's also important to like and subscribe. Finally, you can share this video with all of your friends so that they can help as well. If you're already caught up with all of my videos, you can go to Tumblr for my main book Snarks, always free and updated every morning. And if you've already read all of my main Snarks, then you can find even more Snarks on my Patreon. You can access it for $1 a month. Plus, you also get early access to my main Tumblr Snark. Special thanks to Dawn, Phoebe, and Nikki for supporting me on Patreon already. If you want to hear your name in my video next week, either support me on Patreon or make a one-time donation. Do you like my Snark so much that you want me to snark your writing? I do that too. For just $3 per chapter, I will tell you how awful that your writing is. But not to worry if you feel like you couldn't take the criticism. I also offer regular book editing as well. $3 for every 5,000 words. You can contact me on any of my social media platforms if you have further questions. If you want to read some of the things that I've written, you can purchase my works on Amazon. I have a slew of erotic short stories and one full-length novel. I also sometimes run flash sales on my stories, and if you don't follow me on any social media, you might want to do that just so you know when I might be offering more things for free. Links for everything will be posted below. See you next week, guys.